Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 7. We are in the second week of games, and for these two teams, it is their first matches of the season. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined today by TDS, and we've got Jungle Diff Gaming up against Madison Esports Shredded. We've already into picks and bans. We are ready to get this game underway. TDS, how you doing?
Great. Waiting for some exciting games, some fun
Yeah.
ones. I've already been coming from a really chaotic match on Wednesday, so I'm pretty excited for this one. And looking at the bans, there are a lot of respect. Taking out the Hecarim and the Olaf, two power junglers that people like to play a lot, as well as the
Mhm.
Lucian and Seraphine right now, which are power picks in the hands of certain players. So I
Yep.
think overall this is a pretty normal draft. Jhin first pick is interesting because I'm not sure if it's a worthy first big champion to have right now, but maybe it's comfort.
Yeah, I honestly think that it is just it might just be like their quote unquote fourth ban. I think they might be just trying to take it away from Ginny the Pooh here, who fits the bill as I as I said
With the
earlier
name.
when it
Yeah.
comes to plays so much Jin. This is a one trick. Might have had a little bit of a break in the previous season, but has been doing a lot of that. So it might just be something that Stadi is comfortable enough on that they feel confident in picking it away from Ginny the Pooh here.
Yeah, and as an answer, Senna, which can be flexed between support and ADC, but especially the Elder, which has been a menace on pro play and in almost any level of competitive play because of
Yep.
how oppressive that jungle has been. So
Yeah.
I think leaving it up for the for Madison to be able to get that big is kind of dangerous, but maybe they have an answer for that. And here comes the Akali mid, and here the Morgana, which because of the changes, now this champion can go into the jungle as
Yeah.
well as the support. So we still don't know where it can go, but I'm excited if it is a Morgana jungle.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Like we were teased a little bit in on I believe it was Tuesday or Monday. We had a person who had so much success on the jungle Morgana, and she even received more buffs, I think, in the most recent patch, like the one that came on Wednesday, to have just additional damage on that tormented soil. And the tormented soil now also procs on medium Krugs, which is pretty big. It's a pretty big change.
Yeah, that her clear speed for from what I've seen from players and people playing her in the jungle, she seems to have been so buffed in that regard that she can clear speed. Her clear speed is just so much better right now than a lot of the junglers, and she provides so much utility with her bind as well as her
Hmm.
ultimate in fights. And the tormented soul, even though it's not as big of a damage as people may think, may want to see it, it's really important in long fights. So
Yeah.
overall, that champion provides so much for the team, and in jungle, I think it also helps with the AP threat,
Yeah.
which a lot of the teams want to have, and then can allocate something to mid lane like Tristana or Lucian, which this
Yeah.
time around is banned.
Yeah, it's a really strong pick. Not to mention that like even at level 1 Morgana's bind is a 2-second
Yeah.
snare. We are now in the phase 2 of bans. Also Aatrox, Yorick and Nocturne being banned away here. So it looks like they're kind of predicting that this Morgana might be a support, and it's probably a pretty good even though we've been typing up a lot of what Morgana is capable in the jungle. I still think Morgana Jin is an incredibly powerful bot lane.
Yeah, the big potential in that world lane is huge, and also the jungle Dave's support player seems to
Hmm.
like a lot of enchanters and mages,
Hmm.
so it's logical for them to assume that he will probably play the Morgana. And
Hmm.
the rail ban here, I like it a lot because Madison Esports support as well is a really good engager, and he plays a lot of
Yep.
rail and Alistar. So taking that away, I think it's good. But here the Annie response in mid lane,
Okay.
interesting pick.
So
Yeah,
so this shouts out to me that this might be a Senna 80 carry and a Galio support in the bot lane and Annie going into the mid lane.
yeah, that's the most likely way to see it. It can also be Senna carry with any support and
Hmm.
just doing the fasting order. But yeah, there's are two champions that can benefit a lot from getting the gold with from the Senna because
Yep.
they are low economy champions, but they want to have gold. So it's
Right.
great to have them with that. And the Annie also, if they, and these two champions, Annie and Galio, I think can respond well enough to the Akali mid lane. They
Hmm.
have point and click stuns that can bother the Akali a lot, and the
Yep.
Annie can try and burst the Akali, so it's a good answer. And on the other side, Nunu and Willem. Nunu is a jungle champion that I think people do not pick a lot, and that also gives us the hint that it's going jungle. It's not Jungle Morgana, but yeah, Nunu is a champion that can fit the bill in a lot of things when it comes to
Hmm.
junglers. I think it's a really good champion right now. It can take a really good advantage of oppressive laners that can give him priority to like he can steal jungle and all of that. And I
Hmm.
think he also helps in the tank regard. And having Bolivar as a front line is another good option. But I think they trying to have a champion like that when you have Akali as a burst damage type of champion, then having a tank with a Jin, I think it's not the correct kind of
Hmm.
composition to try and go for those kind of champions. It seems all over the place from what one wants to do and what the others want to do. And in
Yeah.
case of Madison, the response from Darius, I want to see it. I saw on Wednesday again there was Darius that was so oppressive against the Cho'Gath, but
Hmm.
because he could never kill him, the Cho'Gath, it never mattered. The Darius was
Yeah.
just never useful enough, and the Cho'Gath just eventually outscaled him and
Hmm.
was more useful in teamfight. So I want to see if this Darius this time around can carry through the top lane, gets the resources, and can just run over everyone in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pick that that I think, especially in this league that or in style esports, I've seen quite a number of Dariuses, and I think maybe only one of them was particularly pretty good. I can't remember the match it was off the top of my head, but it's I have yet to, I think what I'm getting at here is it's I'm yet to be convinced by Darius, and I'm not really like I guess it's to match Volibear to like have just a straight up bruiser since like Galio is going to be going straight tank. I'm not entirely sure what the Darius is for here.
I think it may be to try and just conquer the top lane, like and not even try and fight them because in a straight 5v5, I think probably the composition from Jungle Diff can do a lot more because
Yeah.
the composition from Madison requires you to if you don't hit the Annie stun or if the Galio ultimate is just wasted, there's just no usefulness after that.
Yeah.
And the Senna, although it's a really great carry, I think the Akali has enough sticking potential so that she can get on top of her, as well as the Bolivar, that she can get on
Yeah.
top of her and try and burst her.
Yeah.
So it will really depend on how they use their ultimates and if the Darius can stick to their targets and get enough damage so that he can kill people. And if he's
Yeah.
not really far ahead to not die instantly and be carried out, because we also need to consider that they have a Morgana, the Jungle Diff has a Morgana and a Nunu. They can kite the
Yep.
Darius really easily with those kind of
Yep.
champions. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like I have said before, I really like drafts, and I think drafts are really important to get advantages. But overall, it's going to depend on execution, and I think the Jungle Diff composition has more of a leeway with the kind of execution that they want to do in
Yeah.
comparison to Madison Esports.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I was going to say that like there are a lot of just uh melee champions on the Madison squad, but like the difference between them and Jungle Diff here is that Morgana, Nunu, and also Jin do a very good job of just kind of zoning away their opponents and keeping them away, even though they have like I think you mentioned this earlier, is that now we run into like Jungle Diff just having this kind of like mismatch of ideas where they have Nunu and Volibear who want to go in, Akali as well, Morgana and Jin who just kind of want to stay back and they just kind of want to poke and kind of um
Control
kite
the area.
and yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think, even though with all that, I still think that the execution, there's a lot of execution leeway in Django Diff's composition, and that's why I think if the Senna dies, I don't think they can have enough consistent damage that they can kill someone. And even the Senna will have problems trying to kill a really big frontline with like Bolivar and Nunu if she's not super far ahead or if she's not doesn't have a lot of items, which come around the 30-minute mark where she can really easily kill people. But
Yeah.
before that, it's going to be really dependent on how the objectives go and how the team fights go. And Jin Morgana in those tight spaces, as well as the Nunu, have so
Hmm.
much control of the of area that the the Darius will have a really hard time. The Annie, even with a really good engage, is going to have a really hard time trying to burst someone, and the Morgana can also
Mhm.
cancel the stun from Annie. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it's like not a really it's a comp diff in the sense that I think Madison Esports kind of counter themselves in
Mm.
a sense. So if they can carry with the Darius, maybe the Darius this time around can carry through the top lane and just destroy the tank, because if he's really far ahead, the tanks will never do anything to him. The
Yeah.
lead passive from Darius will just naturally kill them over and over.
Yeah.
But if not, it's going to be an upfield battle for them.
Yeah. And I agree with that. There's like a lot of, there's a couple. I agree that the Darius is just kind of feast or famine, and that if you do get behind, like you don't have the same team fighting abilities as a kind of like an Ornn or a Malphite, or even like a Maokai or something. Just like a tank with lots of CC could have, where they can just walk in, press their R button, and just kind of leave, and they would have done enough for the fight. So it will be, I think it will, the onus is here on Madison Esports to really get ahead early, because Annie also falls off as we get closer and closer to the late game. Like, she's just going to be a stun bot along with Udyr in the late game just to protect this Senna. But we
Yeah.
are going to take just a quick break. When we come back, we are going to be on the Rift with Jungle Diff Gaming versus Madison Esports Shredded. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 7. We are now finally on the Rift. Jungle Diff Gaming is on the blue, and Madison Esports Shredded is on the red. We are ready to go. The whole teams are in here. We are ready to go. I would say lines of scrimmage are being drawn, but it looks like we have a level 1 invade here.
Yeah, Morgana, Jin, Nunu, a lot of CC right there. Also the Bolivar. If Darius oversteps just a little bit, I think he
Uh-oh.
will be. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's the wrong bush. First blood goes over to Volibear. The whole team gets a support. That is really what you like to see. Level 1.
Yeah, really good coordination right there to go for that kind of play. Although the Akali used the ignite for some reason, it's okay. They got the kill. They got the kill, the Bolivar, the opponent of the Darius. So now
Mhm.
he'll have some little advantage in that lane so that he can try and survive early on, and maybe the Darius can even have an even harder time to snowball this.
Yeah. And this is also really good for it's not as bad for Darius. He still has his summoner spells. Like, you really hate to
Yeah, this
start
is
off
gonna
the
flash.
lane 0-1, and especially against a Volibear who's coming to lane with an extra ruby crystal. Not ideal, but it could be worse.
Yeah, if he had flash, then he's just a sitting duck for Bolivar Nunu to try and kill him again.
Yeah. Other than that,
But
yep, go ahead.
uh, overall, I think that play, even though it's not obligatory to happen, I think them being able to execute that play will give them so much. Like we said before, the way level
Ooh.
2 gank.
Yeah, Nunu level 2 gank coming in here. Gonna land the knockup onto Annie. Gonna take her incredibly low. Forced to flash away. She is burning a little bit from that red buff, but that is a really early gank.
Yeah, and that's something that the Nunu can do because of his snowball. It's
Mhm.
not a lot of junglers can do that kind of cheesy strat and complete it effectively. But if the Annie is ever out of position, then a second snowball will come through the lane and she will die instantly. It's not an option. Okay, but
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a binding onto Galio here. They have gotten the level 2 before their lane opponents, and that is so much damage so early on. And
yeah,
I really want to
sorry.
really quickly shout out to Shakunato here, who kind of baited Ginny into thinking that he was going to get snared and then turned around immediately onto the Galio. I think that was very sweet.
And those kind of mind games are the kinds of things you want to see from. Oh,
Ooh, yeah, that's Ginny the Pooh taken very low here. The exhaust
dead.
is coming down, and this exhaust in response as well. The force shot can't come out just yet. And that is going to be both bot lanes walking away and chugging potions.
I'm surprised the Morgana didn't take. If the Morgana had ignite, then Senna is dead. She wouldn't survive that. But I'm surprised she takes that room for these kind of matchups. But yeah, overall, the mind games from the Morgana are really well executed. And in top lane, there seems to be a Udyr coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be Udyr coming up on a Volibear here. He's going to get the shock onto Udyr, or onto Darius, rather. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, that's going to be Ginny the Pooh taken down. Here comes Nunu in from the jungle here. Going to knock Darius into the air. The snowballs are going to deal a decent chunk of damage. He might be able to turn this around here. Can he find the last bit of damage? He's not going to be able to do it. Udyr is now trying to look for the kill here as the teleport is coming in from the Akali. Can she find the kill now onto Natan, taken incredibly low? Going to be find the kill as well. Huge Lou is going to walk underneath the turret. He's going to go down. A 2-for-1 in the top lane.
Yeah, and one of those goes to the Akali with the red buff now, so even more pressure on the Annie. This is getting harder and harder for for Madison Esports to be. The Jing gets the kill bot side after I think it was a good bind from Morgana, and they're exerting the pressure that you expect out of Morgana Jin lane, especially against a Senna Galio. They would not have a lot of saying in this lane.
Yeah.
And on top side, I think Bolivar could have even gotten a trade kill without the help of the Nunu because of the huge amount of minions that were in that wave at the moment. But still, he tries to run away, they trade flashes, and he still keeps his teleport. So he can try and affect the map if he wants, or just get a better back and then continue to bother the Darius right now. Darius is really far behind. He's even far behind in CS to the Bolivar right now.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were talking about before, that this Darius is kind of feast or famine. It's not really the best team fighting champion. It's a bruiser that can stand in front of the ooh, that's a good snare. Okay. He is a bruiser that gets pretty tanky, can stand in front of your AD carry in the late game, but that's really about it. And he really only has a slow and a pull, and that's about it. Um,
Yeah.
if Darius is not getting ahead and dealing a lot of damage, it's going to be a
And
real
he's not dealing
issue. And
damage.
yeah, huge Lu taking incredibly low here. Shakunada on the bot lane as well. Ashen Chevalier doing a lot of damage here. He is 5 stacks on this passive. Huge Lu doing actually a really great job. He might actually be able to turn this around. There's the stun from Volibear, though. The lightning comes down, and at the last second, the Volibear shows that lightning can strike twice, is going to be able to finally take out Darius after that huge long engagement.
Yeah, he's not the king of top lane anymore, the Darius. He got solo killed, and not only did he die, almost traded, but he not only dies, but the CS difference now is over 15 CS. Okay, well, Senna was getting really low right there, but yeah. Bolivar is going to keep on scaling. He's going to be a lot of maintenance. This wave staying there is not really good for the Bolivar. If the Darius could freeze it, he can, and then Bolivar can lose a lot, but I don't think it will happen. So right now, Bolivar is with a really huge advantage.
Yeah. Not to mention that this Nunu is now waiting in this bot lane here. Okay, whoa, that's a huge engagement coming out from Galio here. Morgana gonna get the heal in, but here comes Nunu in for the side. Ginny the Pooh forced to flash away, but that's gonna be Soul Point picking up the kill in the bot lane. Senna goes down once again and loses her flash as well. That's a huge pickup for Jungle Diff Gaming here.
Yeah, and you don't pick Senna to try and kill someone or try and be able to poke them. You pick Senna to survive and get the souls. But Senna is dying, and we thought that this was going to be a fasting Senna, but she has 40 CS. She's been farming, so I'm not sure what the point of picking Senna is then. Why not just go for a normal AD carry to try and farm the game? Senna, if you're going to do that, or even pick a normal support, another support than Galio, but I think this beats the purpose of that. And yeah, there's a difference in top lane in terms of CS, and the Udyr has been farming, but maybe this time around he can actually do something coming top lane.
Yeah, Udyr's gonna have to come in pretty quick. Huge Lu already taken below half HP, and now, okay, that's gonna be Ashen Chevalier using the ultimate to try to get away here, put some space between him and the Natan, but he's gonna flash and bear slap around the minions, but immediately give up. He can't chase under tower just yet. Ashen Chevalier hanging around for a little bit longer. Looks like they're just going to back away. No kills just yet. Nunu's trying to pick up that dragon down in bot side.
And he probably will. He has the support of the Morgana, and if Galio tries to do something funny, he will instantly die from the Jhin. Really interesting flash from the Udyr right there. There was no chance of killing him after the Darius was already so far behind. And he just wasted a summoner for nothing. So if the Nunu is able to get him in jungle with a bind or something like that alone, then he can die if he's all alone. And here the Nunu will steal the blue, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks to be pretty close. He doesn't have smite, but he does get the chop though. Natan smited just a little too early, and that's going to be the blue buff going over the soul point. That's pretty big.
Yeah, he was the Udyr was really far ahead of the Nunu in terms of farming, but it's a Nunu. He will catch up, and the Udyr didn't respect that and miss-smited. Now he's going to also get this herald, I think, with the help with the priority from Akali and Bolivar. But Udyr is going bot lane.
Yeah, starting just a little too far forward. Jhin, Morgana immediately started moving back, but that's so much damage onto the Jhin. It's going to be taken down almost immediately. It seemed like he almost had no respect or didn't know that the Udyr was showing up.
Yeah, and they knew that the other was bot side because they saw the Nunu steal the blue away from the other. They knew that he was there. Oh, mid lane.
Oh yeah, that's going to be an ultimate immediately onto the Akali here. Tibbers is dealing a decent chunk of damage to Akali here, but it doesn't look like it's going to do a whole lot. And I'm not quite sure what that ultimate was for there.
Yeah, I just realized that Annie barely has items. That will never kill the Akali from so much health. She would never die from that, even with the ignite. So I think it's just to show presence in the lane, show that she's there, because it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty odd. They are going to spot out Udyr, who's still kind of hanging around this bot side of the map here. It does give Volibear just a little bit more time to continue to bully this Darius in the top lane, as Morgana, are you gonna bully Udyr in the jungle? What are we looking
She's
for
a
here?
jungler now.
Man, it's interesting that she's going for Seeker's Arm Guard here and just kind of going for a Zhonya's Hourglass before her mythic item. I don't really see that a
Yeah.
whole lot with a lot of champions. There are very few champions that want to go for legendary items before their mythic.
Yeah, I think one of those is Fiora because of how good Hydra is, but I think in the context of this game, if Morgana but
Oh yeah, that's a really good combo. The Black Shield was a little late,
Oh.
forced to use the exhaust. There's the ultimate as well. The
Ooh,
root
nice.
is good. Senna is taken incredibly low.
She's dead?
Here comes Stati. He's trying
No.
to walk around the Galio here, but she's going to go invisible and walk away. Ashton Chevalier, meanwhile, in the top lane, is not going to get that shield from the lightning, and directed camera is going to throw me back to the bottom lane as Moa is taken incredibly low. The second shot, Ginny the Pooh is going to find out the kill. The fourth shot on the Ginny the Pooh here, he's not going to be able to find it. That's going to be the absolute zero in the bush as well. They're going to get the knock-up on the Fury Flames. They're rooted. You can't flash away just yet, and they're finally going to get away. The red team steals a kill on Morgana, is able to get away with their lives, and now Stati is able to pressure them underneath their own turret. Annie, you can't be caught window shopping here. Oh, that's a big ultimate, though. Stati's got underneath turret. Now here comes Mockingbird in from the side. Can they be able to find the kill here? They're taunted. That's going to be the kill onto Annie, and finally a kill was returned, but that was a 2-for-1 after the end of that.
yeah, maybe she can window shop after that. She bursted the Jhin out of nowhere. That's Annie. That's Tiver's combo. But she was caught out by the Nunu at one point, and she almost got solo killed by the Nunu full tank. So she has to be really careful about going up as far as that. And the Morgana dies in that trade. I thought the Jhin was going to be able to kill everyone there with the ultimate, but really good position by the Senna to stop the shots, knowing that she won't die from that. And really well done, the
Yeah,
Udyr here.
Mockingbird taking a bunch of damage by Natan, gonna scare him away with that with the turret there. Nunu coming in from the side here, looking like he's going to try to dive underneath the turret. Looks like he's finally gonna back away. Rift Herald. Man, you know, sometimes I really hate directed camera because it doesn't seem to care when people go and grab Rift Herald, and then people just have Rift Herald.
Yeah, I forgot Rift Herald was. Oh, Morgana.
Ooh, whoa, that's a really big flash from Morgana here. The bind is not going to land on the center, it's going to land on the Galio instead, and that's going to pretty much cancel out the whole engage here.
Yeah, she used flash. Interesting.
Oh no. Okay, that's going to be Udyr coming in from the river here. Now Morgana's rooted up. She's going to get the slow smite as well. She goes down. Nunu is coming in from the jungle on the top side though. Huge low. Taken incredibly low here. He looks like he's going to go down. The heal from his spin. The knock up, the dunk. Oh no, Ashen Chevalier is going to heal, and now he's going to stay alive. I think he stayed alive, but maybe he has Triumph? Yeah, he does have Triumph. Oh my god.
Triumph, and I think also he took the bite of the heal, so that gave him a little bit more. I thought I really balls of steel from Asian Chevalier to not use the ultimate at any point there, and just wait and wait. But really well done from the Nunu and Bolivar to respond to the ball lane play. Morgana, I think she wished she had a flash to escape from that, because the flash play was flashy and all, but it didn't accomplish anything. So at the end of the day, it's just
Sometimes
happens.
you just gotta not be a hero and just kind of play it a little safer. I mean, it definitely caught us by surprise, and it almost went really well. I think the big problem was Galio was playing very, very well around the Morgana binding and just standing in between Morgana and the Senna. So even if she had gotten the stun off, even if she had gotten the stun plus snare off, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff after that.
Man.
And then Jhin was separated. Fury Flames taken incredibly low here. That's a flashy play by Mockingbird. Now underneath the turret, Tibbers is a little angry after you beat up her special friend, but it looks like Mockingbird is going to get away with this by just a little bit, just below half HP left in the lane. So pretty good, pretty well played by her, as you know, by Akali here, is, you know, that now these lanes are definitely starting to swing in the favor of the blue team. Natan coming in from the jungle. That's going to be the chilling smite. Nunu's in from the side as well. The snowballs. Can they land the snare? They're just going to be out of range. Oh no! Monkeybird's underneath turret. There's the flash from Natan, but he doesn't have the bear slap this time. He can't interrupt the absolute zero. He's taking a lot of damage. It's going to be a turnaround. Here comes a Galio ultimate though. This fight keeps going back and forth over and over. Nunu is now taunted up. He's trying to get that last bit of damage onto the Udyr, but he's going to flash away. No one is going to die in that mid lane. Huge Lao in the top lane now has to fight this Ashen Chevalier. So high, so much damage. It's going to be so hard to fight. There's the spin, there's the heal. But man, this Volibear hurts.
Yeah, and so much action in the mid lane. The Akali first executes really well her combo. It's at that point where any squishing mage, if he goes really far forward, you're going to die to the Akali. She has ignite, she has her ultimate, she has her mid lane, it's dead. And the Annie goes, okay, I thought they were trying to make a play. And then comes the Udyr, which we thought he was going to die because the Nunu and the Akali were already there, but he's so not only so fast, but he has so much damage. He baits them towards the turret and then kills the Akali under turret. Really well done by the Udyr.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was really well played, and we're starting to see a bit of a lane swap here. We have seen the bot lanes kind of swap into this mid position here to try to gain a little bit more advantage now that the bot lane turret has been taken by the blue team here. And it looks like, yeah, Akali's going into this bot lane here, which I don't exactly hate. I did really want to really quickly touch on this Rift Maker here. I think we already had a game where we saw Akali on the Rift Maker, and now we're seeing it again. Is there a particular reason why this, usually an item that wants to see long engagements is being built on a Burst Assassin?
Okay, I'll touch on that after.
Yeah. After Ashen Chevalier has to use his ultimate to try to escape once again. Yeah, Kali is teleporting in. Nunu is coming in from the jungle as well. That's going to be a dash onto Natan here. They have to run away. Natan is being a sacrificial lamb, dodges around the snowball. That might actually be them living, but the Kali does so much damage. They're going to be able to find the kill. That's a 1-for-0. The top lane, they might be able to pick up a turret for themselves as well. They're going over to the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and I think the sacrificial lamb should have been the Annie. She's not worth as much gold as the Udyr right now. Okay, really great stun. Not bad. It's not going to add much. So we were talking about the Rift Maker on Akali. Most of the time, Akali would rather go for the Proto Belt or items like those items that gives her movement speed. But I think this time around, she feels like even though she wants to burst someone out, if she has the Rift Maker, maybe she can do even more damage in prolonged fights. And if she bursts the Senna out, that can... Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Shakunato missing the binding here is huge. Has to use Black Shield and Flash and heal from Stadia as well. She's going to get away, but so much was spent. Ginny the Pooh now taken incredibly low from that Tormented Soil. Is now going to look... Yeah, here comes Natan in from the side. Another Dark Binding miss. That is huge. The exhaust has to come down now. Now with 4 members in the mid lane, Shakunato taken incredibly low. There's not a whole lot for them to do here on the blue side.
Yeah, Senna deals so much damage, even without so many souls. She has 33 right now, not a lot of souls at this point, but still she deals so much damage. They have to still be careful about her, and they almost got the kill. Really good flash by the Morgana to run away and not die from the Senna. The Madison is first need to be TP from the Volibear.
Yeah, TP from Volibear coming in. Shakunato's looking for something here, but that's going to be the biggest snowball ever. Going right onto the Mountain Drake is going to scare the red team off enough, and they're going to pick up this second Drake for themselves.
Yeah, they have double smite with the Nunu, so if they get a position on the Drake, it's going to be really easy to get. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Oops.
Yeah.
I think Soul Point stopped for a second there, was like, oops. Yeah. That's gonna be Galio snared up here, taken incredibly low, forced to flash away. Natan now underneath the turret. Here is coming the Rift Herald. Natan gonna dive in real deep. Here comes the Galio ultimate as well. They're gonna force to get away here, but 2 members have already gone down. The charge from Shelly is gonna deal a decent damage to this turret here, but they've already lost 2 members and have gotten nothing in response.
Yeah, and I think Morgana just stood still at that point. The Udyr just ran at her and she just stood still, and all of the engage from Madison came in and just bursted 2 people out. And that's a little glimpse of what could happen in team fights if they are able to to apply their CC and all of their abilities all together, then that's going to be the end result. People dying. But if that engage does it's not well executed or something fails or any priority target is not hit, then it won't matter. The turnaround from Jungle Diff is going to be so big that they're going to die. So
Yeah.
it's a battle to see which comes out on top. And to finish on the Akali point, I think this is just because she can try and kill the Senna by herself. Oh,
Oh, that was a
oh
flash
no!
from Huge Lao here, trying to get onto the
Yeah,
trying to get onto the gym, but immediately was snared. Oh man, that is
I feel that.
Morgana. Morgana is in the same boat as Janna as like one of the most anti-melee champions to ever exist. And whenever you play a melee champion and there is a Morgana on the enemy, oh my god, he really wants to fight this
So
Jhin.
yeah, he has the strike
Please
breaker
give
for
me
a reason.
gold. Please give me gold. I'm 0-4.
Oh no,
Mockingbird
Animal,
on the other side though, dodging around a lot of snares
Yep.
from Fury Flames, but that is such a flashy play. Gonna be able to grab the kill here, but Udyr is looking for more in this top lane, trying to run down the ninja, but she's doing a great job of juking around. Gonna be spotted
Yes,
out
yeah,
by
I
the
think.
red trinket here.
Oh.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Ashe and Chevalier, Volibear versus Darius, the classic combo, the classic matchup. Huge Lao is going to be taken to below half HP underneath this tier 2 turret.
So yeah, that solo kill on top lane perfectly explains what I was trying to say into Akali. That she already has enough damage to kill the targets. That I think the Reef Maker is for prolonged fights after you kill the target effectively. Like for example, if you kill the Senna fast, then you can try and sustain through another fight so that your cooldowns can come back and you can try and fight even more.
Yeah.
So I think that's the idea overall.
Yeah. I mean, so like a lot of times when we talk about assassins, we talk about folks who can dive into fights and take out low health priority targets. And I agree that like this, just having the ability to be like, okay, I have enough damage to burst down the Senna, and then I'm still useful in the fight because I'm stacking up this damage from my Rift Maker. So I really
Which
really
will be
like
true damage.
this. Yeah. I really like that this kind of adaptation that we've been seeing from Akali players across the league. So really cool idea here for sure.
Yeah, and to some degree, I think it also maybe Udyr.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
quick.
Mockingbird doing a good job of dashing to the other side of Natan here. Yuna coming in from the side, but it doesn't look like he quite wants to engage. Mockingbird gonna dash away, use that ultimate the last second there. But it's still
Yeah,
more and more pressure onto this top outer turret here.
Yeah, and this is another thing that Akali is really great at, putting pressure on the side lanes. It's one of those champions that you don't want to fight on the side lane alone. Having to call Udyr so much to the side lane to protect the Annie also gives a lot of space throughout the map so that you can try and do something else. If you see, the bot lane has is completely lit up with blue wards. They have complete control of the area, and
Yeah,
that's
there might need some help for Ashe and Chevalier. That's going to be the heroic entrance. He's going to finally turn this around. There's now 4 members of the blue team here. Curtain Call is coming across. The 4th shot is going to miss. And now the focus is on the Huge Laos. He's going to try to take out Shakunato the way back into this game for himself. He's going to get a huge heal. Here comes the Absolute Zero. There's nothing to stop him this time. That's a huge slow on the whole team. Here comes a lightning strike from Volibear as the next kill is Galio. They're now looking for Ginny the Poo, and they're going to be able to find the route onto Udyr instead. And now Senna is here. She's going to root up Jhin, but that is a 2-for-0 in the bot lane, and that's going to be a free Drake for them as well.
Yeah, this puts them on soul point, and a lot of things happen in that fight. I think there's 2 things that we need to make really clear in that fight. The first is that it was mostly a 4v5. Annie doesn't have teleport and Akali does. She was able to respond quicker to the fight, and Annie didn't even appear even at the end, so she was never part of that fight. And that's why I think mostly they lost that engage where they had the priority on top of the Volibear, but it wasn't really as effective. And the second part is that the Sonjas from the Morgana bought so much time. She was about to die from the Darius, but because of the Sonjas, she didn't blow up instantly, and it buy time for the rest of the team to collapse and help before she dies, and then she can survive and provide even more CC. So I think those 2 things are the biggest factors in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a really big moment for them. They're now up about 2,500 gold at this stage. Not gigantic, but definitely a lead for sure. Something to keep note of here. Ooh, Morgana Might be caught out here. Natan coming in, gonna spell shield the stun here, but she's now forced between a rock and a hard place. As here comes Darius in from the river as well. She's just standing completely still. There's
Leave
no
the
way
kill
she
to the
gets out of that.
Darius.
Oh man.
No.
Oh no.
Poor Darius, he's so on 5. Give the kill to the man. He needs some gold.
Yeah, can you imagine just being like this 5-2 Udyr is just like, no, it's mine. I got it. It's just like looking.
Yeah, it's
like,
not like you're already doing what you are going to do. Wait, TP from Darius to top.
oh my god. Okay. I really thought that he was going to go like super hard onto the Jhin, because he has been, every single time I've seen Huge Lao and Stati in the same place, it's always been Huge Lao just running at Stati. It'd just be like, come here.
Yeah, he goes too
shit.
hard with the stride breaker and does nothing.
Yeah.
Oh no, Annie.
Oh yeah, Annie taking incredibly low here. He's going to flash away from the lightning. That's going to be Tibbers coming down as well. The bear stun is good, and the bear on bear violence is going to continue as Volibear's going to take down Tibbers.
You would have supposed that the Annie was friends with bears because of her Tivers, but apparently not. No,
apparently not.
Bears don't like her. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, we were talking about how the gold lead wasn't as big as it should appear to be, but in reality, the composition is the composition from Jungle Diff right now is in a really great spot, and they have the soul point. The moment they get Mountain Soul, I think it's going to be almost impossible to be able to deal with that. The Volibear will be so big, the Nunu will be so big, and the Jhin will have... Oh, finally!
Ooh, wow, yeah, Huge Lao wants to 2v1 here. Sakunato wants to oblige, but here comes Natanen from the side, and Sakunato might be just a little too far forward, and Huge Lao finally on the scoreboard! Let's go! That's the underdog story I am here for. Huge Lao finally picking up a kill for themselves. Let's fucking go. That deserves a clap. That deserves a clap. For sure, 100%. Way to go, Huge Lao.
Huge Lao, it's like that saying, you miss 100% of the... Oh, wait.
Oh,
Senna.
man. Mockingbird looking for the kill on a Ginny the Pooh. Oh, my gosh. That's so much damage. Might still be able to fight Moa if given the right opportunity. Ignite is ticking here. Okay, here comes Natanen from the side. That's going to be chilling Smite. He still wants more. There's the bear slap. Here comes Phoenix Dance, and here comes the heroic entrance. But here comes the biggest snowball ever. Natan dodging around at just the right angle. The Justice Punch is going to come in, but the root is going to come back on Natan. Going to use this Phoenix Stance and the monkey presence to try to get away as much as possible.
And now he's going to gank bot. I know.
Yeah. Oh my god. God, I would have loved that, to be completely honest. That would have been the funniest thing. That would have been so funny.
That would be the most Udyr thing, honestly.
Okay. Natan, here's what I need you to do. I need you to rewind this game. I need you to go back in time, and I need you to do that.
Yeah, please.
Do
the other thing. That's the correct play. Okay, really, really well done from the Volibear.
Don't listen to us. Don't.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, let's try and keep the game in a state where it's not an insanity overall. But yeah, one thing that I do want to comment Huge Lao on before we go into more madness on the Mountain Drake is that he has gone multiple times for that kind of engage, but finally, because he was able to get it with the help of the Udyr, he's able to get a kill. So I like that kind of consistent of trying to do something, wanting to do something, because he knows that if he doesn't do that, then he's going to be useless most of the time.
Right. It's better to do something than nothing. And if you're able to, if you come out of a bad something, and this might be a huge something though. Huge Lao pulling Nunu over the wall though. He's gonna force the flash back. Volibear has jumped back into the pit here, and here comes the curtain call. The first shot, the second. Mockingbird is on the background as well. The fourth shot is gonna kill Moa. Natan is taken incredibly low, and Shakunato is gonna be able to find the stun, the knockup, the root, the so much CC on a Huge Lao, and finally that underdog story is finally put to rest as Ashen Chevalier in the background is going to be able to become unstoppable, munching up Annie, and is going to send her to the grave 4-0. And what started off as a great engage for the red team slowly turned into the blue team's favor.
Yeah, I'm feeling even more bad for Huge Lao now. He goes for the really good engage. He gets the Jhin and the ball and the Nunu. He gets their flashes, but after that, the Volibear counter engages and really well done from him. And what we were talking about with Akali, the Akali is able to burst the targets out without really needing to have a really big item, and she was able to stay alive so much time, deal so much damage, and survive at the end. She didn't
Hmm.
die, and the only survivor is the Bolivar because he runs away really fast. That's really good from him, and
Yeah.
the trade and Bolivar is not going to die in bot. They're getting the free Baron, the turret, the Drakes, the Soul Point. They're getting everything this game.
Yeah, I mean, these neutral objectives are just falling. I was going to say that for a second. I was like, it's a little weird that they're going for Baron with everyone up. But you know, their Jin doesn't really kill it very quickly. And I was like, oh yeah, they have Nunu.
Yeah, yeah. Have
That
fun
chump
trying
does
to
so much
smite the champ.
damage. Yeah, and plus, like, I think we talked about this a little bit, but like Morgana Tormented Soil at this point actually does a lot of damage to neutral camps. So
Yeah, indirect jungle. Yeah, indirect jungle buff right there. She doesn't even need to be jungle to deal so much damage to Baron and Drake.
Yeah. What rank is it right now? It's still rank 1. Never mind. Forget it.
Okay, so it deals 12 damage per second. So it's still there. It's a really good ability still to deal some damage at least.
Yeah.
But I think even if they try to contest, it's not going to matter. If they go there, then Jungle Diff will just turn around, get a bind on someone or something like that, and Akali will solo kill them instantly. It's not going to matter a lot. And that Akali is really tanky right now. She has 3,000 health with 145 armor.
Yeah. That's what Demonic Embrace and Zhonya's Hourglass will do, and you know there is a lot of AD threat on their team as well. So you know it's a pretty substantial amount of effective health she's got there.
Yeah. So now they're going for Volibear.
Oh yeah, they're going for Volibear here. Mockingbird is coming in from the side, not being able to find the stun on a huge Lao here, but that's going to be the stun on a Mockingbird. Taken incredibly low. She's going to go golden in response. They're going to take out Tibbers. Mockingbird looking for something, but going to get dunked on. That's going to be Darius picking up a big kill here. That's going to be a huge shield from Ashen Chevalier as he's trying to turn it around. Oh my god, he's still alive! How is he still living? Can he get another kill? Galio's finally going to be able to find the shutdown, but Stani has been alive this whole time! The Jin is going to be able to find more! Oh my god, a 4 for 1 in favor of Jungle Diff Gaming!
Yeah, that Bolivar was a raid boss right there. Try and have fun. I thought the raid boss was supposed to be Cho'Gath, but no. There goes the Bolivar and just for so much damage. They get a good pick on the Akali. They hit their CC on top of her. She uses her Sonjas and either way dies on the reset with the Darius ultimate. I thought he was going to get a reset and just kill the two of them. But no. Okay, Jin.
Oh my god, Jin, yeah. That Gale Force plus 4th shot, so much damage. Gonna take the Annie out. That is the ace. Oh man, okay, the absolute 0 as well. That's gonna be the kill. That's gonna be the Nexus. That is going to be game 1 going over to Jungle Diff Gaming.
Whoa. Yeah, it ended up being a part of draft, part execution, what really mattered. So what our fears were for this game was that the draft was going to fall off for Madison Esports because there was not a lot of things that they could do, and if the Darius doesn't get ahead really early, the Annie is not as useful at the mid game, and the Senna and Galio end up dying really a lot, then the composition was just going to fall off, and that's what ended up happening. The Darius ends up 2-7. Huge Loud tried, but Bolivar outplayed most of the things that happened in top lane, and the Darius was never able to get a huge lead. And then the Nunu had control over objectives, with bot lane getting as well, helping with that control. Mid lane never died and then began to just run over everyone in the map. So I think it was just a couple of dominoes falling over that ended up giving the edge to Jungle Diff, and their composition was simply better than Madison Esports, and they just executed perfectly what they needed to do.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I for sure have to give. I have to give MVP. If you were to give MVP of this game, who do you think you would give it to? Because I think I'm giving it to Ashen Chevalier for sure.
It's Ashen Chevalier or Soul Point for me. I think the Nunu was where he needed to be most of the game. If you try to think of a play that happened, and Snowball almost always appeared there. Yeah. So I think he was really effective overall in the map, and he did what the Nunu needed to do. He needed to stay. He stayed even with the Udyr most of the time, he controlled the objectives and he tried to do ganks with the snowball. So I think he was really good, but I can see why we can give it to Asian Chevalier. I think he outperformed the lane in which he was put on.
Yeah, I totally like. There were a lot of times where Ashen Chevalier is caught out and he's able to he played very well. He had a very high kill participation throughout his team. He shut down the Darius, which is very important for a team that wants to play around it. And also, like, when it came to the late game, was very instrumental to a couple of these team fights here when it came down to it.
Yeah, and his engages were really good on the Bolivar.
Yeah.
So I agree. We can give Asian Cavalier the MVP. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be in picks and bans of Game 2 of Jungle Diff Gaming versus Madison Esports Shredded. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. You don't want to miss this match. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 7. We are in week number 2, and we have for y'all tonight, we have Madison Esports Shredded up against Jungle Diff Gaming. Now, we are in game number 2, and we are in a picks and bans. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined with TDS, and we're here to see if... excuse me. We're here. Madison Esports Shredded needs to take this to a game 3. They need to win this match. They are down a game in this best of 3. So it's up to them to see if they can keep this series going and maybe squeeze out a win TDS, how you doing?
Yeah, coming from that Heg team game one, it was fun but really chaotic, and I think Jungle Diff really performed as expected with the execution that they showed us. And I
Mhm.
want to see if Madison can try and take the same too, and we can go for a game three with full of action. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for
Right now the
sure.
bans are really normal, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, really respectful ban. Olaf, the common ban against the junglers in this meta, and Morgana being banned
Yeah.
this time around. I think they really didn't like going against that pick
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah, mostly these bans are pretty much the same, but this does leave Seraphine open for Moa to pick up here. Now that's a very, very strong pick to start off.
Yeah, I don't want to say she's the strongest, but she's certainly one of the best champions in the game right now. Being
Yeah.
able to be flexed in in four different positions, and even with some of the changes to the Moonstone, it's still a really good item, and she's still a really great champion. And the pick from the Jhin and the other, once again, I think Jungle Diff played really well with the Jhin, so I understand why they want to go for it again. And if they pair it with a really good support champion, then it's going to be even more. And the other this time around, they're picking it up. I think one of the best champions in the one of the best junglers in the game right now as well. Surprised that it
Uh-huh.
goes through so easily in the big events,
Yeah.
but it's a really good pickup to have.
Yeah, I guess they're just valuing. I guess Mythic is just valuing excuse me, they're valuing soul points Udyr or Olaf rather, just because of how much of what the type of history that Soul Point has on this Olaf. 179 games last season, 59% win rate, 77 games, 51% in season 9, and this season 30, even though it's just 32 games, that's a 78% win rate. That's incredibly good.
Yeah, that's scary for for a jungler. That's true.
Yeah.
So I guess I can see, I can understand why they would go for the bander, but I hope they have something really good to answer the Udyr. And I think Lilia is like the more common answer nowadays. I think it's either that or Hecarim, and
Hmm.
Lilia also serves the purpose of the AP, but I'm not sure if it's going to be super useful. The Jungle Dive goes once again for the Kali, which dominated the
Yeah.
mid lane. I want to see if Madison has an answer for that, or if they're going to send the Seraphine there and try and survive the lane. But the pick of Seraphine Senna, if it goes bot lane, that bot lane is really oppressive. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to see what they go for. The Cillian ban, I was waiting for that to see if they were going to ban the Cillian.
Yeah. Yeah, they're throwing a lot of bans at Shakunato here, and even though Shakunato, like, that Morgana was really hard to play around in the previous game, I don't know if you need to devote more than one ban to Shakunato here. I mean, Shakunato plays, and not because Shakunato isn't bad, it's more just because Shakunato plays a lot of enchanters, and enchanters
And
into
Maokai.
Seraphine. Yeah, and oh yeah, and Maokai.
And Maokai.
So the reason I was like, yeah, like enchanters into Seraphine aren't exactly awful. Seraphine is pretty much fine with playing against other enchanters. It's mostly just high engaged supports that really shows her like a bit of trouble because she doesn't have like a whole lot of tools in order to survive those types of engagements. So
And she's also one of the squishier champs in the game.
yep.
So if they get on top of her, she can be exploded.
Mm-hmm. Now Malphite being locked in for Huge Lao. I do actually kind of like this adaptation here. We did see Huge Lao have a hard time on that Darius in the previous game. But Malphite is one of those champions that, if they are getting behind, if they do end up getting behind, they can just teleport in, press that ultimate button, and leave. They can just leave. Like if that's all that the Malphite contributes, that's still vastly more than a Darius who is very far behind.
Yeah, the Malphite's ultimate and his ability to survive so much, the Yorick pick would be really good if it goes through. I think it can bully so much the Malphite.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Malphite overall he can survive a lot, and the ultimate is so much value, especially against low mobility carries like Jhin, which
Mm-hmm.
if you get on top of him, then he can instantly die. And I like the Malzahar pick here against the Akali. You don't need to be able to kill. You don't need to be able to kill the Akali
Mm-hmm.
or be able to torment her. But if you with your R, you have to force the Akali to go for a QSS, or if not, you're never going to get to do anything in teamfights. And the
Right.
Malzahar is the greatest neutralizer in mid lane. We all know that famous final from 2017 between Samsung Galaxy and SKT, where Malzahar was just there and it stopped the greatest player of all time from being able to play. So I guess this
Yeah.
time around he can try and do something similar. And
Yeah.
overall, I like Madison Esports composition this time around more than last time. It's more
Yeah.
cohesive, and I think it has a more clear idea of what they want to do, and it scales even better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think the big thing about the Malzahar here is that it's fulfilling kind of the same function as the Annie in the previous game, just having just a much longer, just single targeted CC as opposed to trying to go for, more of a mass kind of CC here, which isn't really necessary. You don't need an Annie when you have Seraphine, Senna, Lilia, and also Malphite who have multi-target CCs already.
Yeah. And I think Malzahar also scales even better than the Annie. I think he would have more damage the later the game goes on, and he also deals dot damage with his E skill. I don't remember the name, sorry right now for that. And as well with the with Leandris if he goes for that. So champions like Guldir, champions like Jorik, which are not super tanks, will be more easily killed because of that.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. I mean, and it's a really great adaptation, especially after Shakanado is like, yeah, sure, ban away my Zillion, my Morgana. Here's a Maokai. Like, the second the enemy team shows more tanks, and you can immediately show up the Malzahar, who's very, very good at killing those tanks. And I believe the item that was really good against Malzahar has been removed from the game. I don't think it's in the game anymore. Man, I've even forgotten what it was called. It wasn't Abyssal Mask.
QSS, right?
It wasn't Banshee's Veil. It's not QSS. It was like,
okay,
whenever you take damage from the same thing multiple times, it deals less damage.
It's I remember. Yeah, I forgot that name and that item as well. Yeah. I've been so much with the new items in this with the new season 11 items that I forgot the old items already. But I remember that item. It was a tank item in a. It was a really. I think it was. It wasn't the mask, the AP mask. It was a similar item from that helm. Helm of something.
Well,
it's helm of something.
We'll figure it out in the in between. But as it stands, like
at one point.
So which one of these drafts? Adaptive Helm. Okay, Twitch chat's got our back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Twitch chat coming in clutch. Let's go.
Yeah. So for so going back into the game for drafts, I think Madison has the better draft this time around. They have a more clear idea of what they want to do. They have a really good setup for controlling objectives. Maybe not the first Drake, the first Herald, but after that point, I think they have a really good setup for that, controlling those objectives. And Malphite can just abandon lane and just go help all around the map, but he also can survive that kind of lane, the Jorik lane. And in the side of jungle Diff, I think this is more in a sense you can look at it as a more solo queue centric composition where 5 persons want to do something in their own way. So the Akali wants to split push and kill people, the Jorik wants to split push and maybe not kill people but split push, the Jhin and the Maokai wanna fight in bot lane and maybe control objectives, and the other wants to run around. So it's like in the first game, it's not really cohesive what they wanna do, but if they can execute, then maybe they can outplay Madison. But I think Madison overall should have the advantage going to the game, and if they can execute, they should win this game.
Yeah, I think what I'm really excited to see is kind of like these multi-target CC that Jungle Diff Gaming has for themselves, because obviously when you pick Udyr, you need to supplement that with some sort of like multi-target CC, because all he has is Bear Slap. He's not much of a team fighter. Like, he's really good at one-on-ones. He's really good in 2v2s. But when it comes to 5v5s, he can walk up, stun someone, and that's it. Maokai, really great multi-target CC, has a more than one target knockup at level 1 if the Q is if he is positioned correctly. Yorick has the circle. There's a lot of really great stuff on that team that can really, once again, I think enable this Jhin. I think if Stati is able to get ahead, or Mockingbird is able to get ahead, this CC from Yorick and Maokai should be able to enable them to do very, very good things.
Yeah, and it's going to be something really good to take into consideration. And when you speak of the Makai, I also think it's going to be one of the wildcards of the game in terms of that. If he can do something in bot lane to push out the Senna, push out the Seraphine, or even get a kill on one of them, the Satlings deal a lot of damage. The Root
Yeah,
and the Jin W interact in a way like Morgana, like a Morgana Vine. So
yeah.
if you can get that kind of advantage with the Maokai and the Jin in bot lane, then even if you had so much to see, the Jin will be able to burst four of the champions from the five of Jungle Deep right now.
Yeah. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be on the rift of Game 2. Madison Esports Shredded up against Jungle Diff Gaming. Don't go anywhere. This is a match to watch. Oh, okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 7. We are now on the rift of Jungle Diff Gaming versus Madison Esports Shredded, and it looks like Jungle Diff Gaming is doing the
Round
same
2.
thing they did Game 1.
Nah, but this time around, Malphite is ready for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank God.
It's kind of hard to sneak into that particular brush, especially if the enemy team is doing a line of scrimmage. So, looks like they're just going to back away, and they're not going to be able to cheese level 1 this time.
Yeah, I think they're going for that kind of cheese. From red side, they need to go bot. Going top side is going to be really, really, really hard to execute. So it was a cute attempt, and we saw it in game 1 how it affected the matchup in a way. So it was a good attempt, but
Yep.
they don't lose anything from failing.
Yeah. Ooh, it is. Oh, I didn't notice this before, but Jin has taken cleanse this game, which actually I like a whole lot. Being able to cleanse off the sleep from like, there's a lot of things to cleanse off on the enemy
He can
team here.
cleanse
So
three
yeah,
three abilities, I think.
yeah. It also
Sadly,
does.
Malzahar is not one.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So pretty standard starts across the board. No level 1 shenanigans, which means game 2 is now underway.
Yeah, pretty much expected. Expected clears from the Udyr, expected clear from the Lilia. I think Malphite didn't even need to go help. I think being there in lane fighting the Yorick would have been more safe, but it's okay. Doesn't lose anything.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. We did talk about just Lilia opting for the Dark Harvest instead of Phase Rush, and Yorick opting for Grasp of the Undying as opposed to Conqueror. A lot of these choices are 50-50. As Shakunato, that's a huge engage. That's a flash as well. Ginny the Pooh taken incredibly low. Stati gonna take out an exhaust as well. The Ignite did tick down. There was the whole lot of summoner spells were used by Shakunato. They're not going to be able to find the kill on the bot lane.
Yeah, we were speaking about the wild card in Maokai, and he just goes in instantly and tries to kill the Seraphine. They forced the Senna. They forced out the flash from the Senna as well as the exhaust from the Seraphine. So it was a nice play to attempt, and I think this beneficiates more the side of Jungle Diff because now Senna is a sitting duck against a Nudir with a point and click CC, a Maokai with a point and click CC, and Jin. So it's going to be hard for her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jin is very, very good at following up on other players with that little snare that he's got there. So definitely a very, very good, useful tool here. But you know, we can't also just forget that Shakunato spent a whole lot in order to get that kill as well. So it's definitely going to be something to keep our eyes on in that bot lane, especially with Lilia waiting in the wings here.
Yeah, she seemed to want to go there, but good ward for them. They push the wave and they put the ward on the tribush, so Lilia doesn't have that kind of impact. Kali tries and go for something, but yeah, she is not going to get enough damage to kill him. Right now, the only thing that Malzahar needs to do is not die and back and ult top lane.
Yeah.
Huge
Loud just, having another hard time against Ashen Chevalier in the top lane here.
Well, that was going to happen just because of the way the matchup works. And Udyr is topside. Maybe they want to dive?
I mean, it would be so hard to dive a Malphite. I feel like he's just so tanky, even at these kind of low levels with that kind of base shield he has. He doesn't have a whole lot of hard CC, so they might be able to do something, but it all depends on how they execute the dive if they decide to do so.
Yeah, and Jorik would need first his underlings, I'm not sure what the term for them is, so I will just call them underlings.
Yeah,
the ghouls. The ghouls, those things. He would need to prepare them beforehand. I think that he has 3, so maybe they can try and force, but Udyr is really far away, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Lilia going mid.
Yeah, Lilia has shown up in the mid lane, but it doesn't look like she wants any more than just that. Yeah, Ashen Chevalier finally turning around on a huge Lao here. That engagement was just a little too far forward, but it doesn't look like the ghouls are going to be able to finish off huge Lao, but he is very, very low.
Yeah, that can happen anytime he wants. The Prison from Murgot is a really good CC in the sense that, yeah, it doesn't stun you, but it creates terrain that will make it harder for you to try and run away, and you would have to expend a flash. It's one of those CCs that if you don't play around it well, you will have to be forced to blow a flash in cases where you wouldn't do it with normal CC.
Yeah. And it's you know like you said, I think the other big thing is that York can walk in and out of that circle that is in like even though you seem like you're trapped and far away from melee range, you are just within reach. So it is definitely something to keep your eyes on as this top lane matchup continues to progress.
Yeah, and this is something I'm not really sure about because I haven't seen Yorick in a lot of time. It's not a really
Mhm.
popular champ. But does his allies can also work through the terrain he creates?
Mhm.
Because if so, then it's really really valuable.
Yeah. I mean, York is just one of those champions that like you don't really see a whole lot. And to me, York is like Heimerdinger, where it's like you don't really see him a whole lot. But when the people who are good at him play him, you're like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah, it's a really niche champion, and you don't want to fight against someone that is really good at.
Yeah.
Luckily for the league community, there's not a lot of people that are good on him, so it doesn't matter.
There are some folks who are trying to make him work at top level elo play, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to be seeing pro play anytime soon unless he's going to get a pretty big buff. He has received some changes recently, I think. I
But
have
I
to
think he
double check.
got
I feel like I
nerfed
have
again.
seen something with him.
I think they buffed him a little and buffed Trinity Force to be able to give him power, and then they nerfed him once again. Bot lane fight.
But this is going to be Stotty taken incredibly low. Maokai coming in from the side, going to deal a whole amount of damage to Natan. Ignite is ticking as well. Shakanado might be looking for a little bit. Oh, yeah, he's going to force the flash here. Mockingbird came in from a teleport as well. And now they're looking for Ginny the Pooh. Taken incredibly low. That flash is not going to save you from the Maokai snare. And first blood goes over to the red team.
Yeah, and just as her flash comes back, it gets blown up once again. The Akali really good TP from her, and it seemed to be a really good play from Madison at the start. They were blowing the Jhin to below 50% health. He was almost going to that wave top lane.
Oh, yeah. Huge Lao taking a lot of damage here. Ashen Chevalier also taking a bit of damage for himself. But, you know, that's a very low mana Malphite there.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of XP differential because Ashen Chevalier didn't TP and Malphite did, so he was going to be behind a little bit. But now that they are equal, I think with Maiden, with Urgot's Maiden, then he can try and kill.
Yeah, it is definitely something. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the Ghoul. It's going to be a circle as well. Seems like it's going to progress any longer. While that was happening, Dragon was secured by Udyr. The Jungle Diff Gaming was able to pick it up, so that's a Cloud Drake in their pocket. Ocean Drake is going to be the next dragon, which means we either have Infernal or Mountain Soul this match.
Great news then. It's a soul they have to fight for.
Yeah, and it's also like these are two comps that don't mind if the game goes long. Like, you know, we have Akali who can still buy a lot of items. We have Jhin. Ooh, we have this Maokai, though, who's going to get a great engage, but Moa is doing a great job. Ginny the Pooh as well, trying to keep him away. He's already below half HP, so he's going to have to back away. Stotty not really close enough to really get that follow-up damage that he's needed.
Yeah, Maokai is really trigger happy with the engages. He's going, as soon as he has his flash, he instantly pops it. But one of the nice things, he hits the stun.
Oh, yeah, that might actually be huge here. Stotty taking incredibly low. Maokai pretty far away, but it doesn't look like they have a lot of follow after that. Here comes Natan into the top lane here. That circle is going to keep them alive, but Huge Lao is looking for more. He's now asleep. Here comes Soul Point in from the side. Huge Lao is incredibly low here. He does have that unstoppable force, but he's using it to get away. Natan is now the target. Soul Point is going to be able to deal that much damage, and that's going to be a Maokai ultimate. The curtain call as well. They're going to try to block up that fourth shot. No kill in the bottom lane, but that's two ultimates, huge ultimates spent in the bot side with no kills, and in the top side, that's a 1 for 0.
Yeah, and in the top side, they tried to force an engage on top of the Yorick, but he had his flash still, and the Malphite didn't have a lot of mana. So if he goes in, then he cannot do a lot more. And I think really good response from Soulboy to be at the right moment, at the right time. He appears there, gets the counter gank, and then insta kills the mid lane.
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
aggressive.
I mean, yeah. This is like we said, like Udyr is very good in these situations where it's just kind of one-on-one, and especially against a Lilia who doesn't really have a whole lot of damage. They're sitting on the Lost Chapter, a Fiendish Codex, but not a whole lot else. I mean, Udyr, all the Udyr needs to deal damage is that Bomby Cinder. So
And right on top
definitely
of you.
very, very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lilia waiting once again bot lane to try and do something, but again, they have vision on her. They cannot force anything. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm interested in this bot lane is that Maokai seems to be going tank. I thought he was going to go for the Imperial Mandate build with Maokai, but this way he can also serve as a front line, which you really don't need the Maokai to deal a lot of damage. You just need him to be there and help you deal damage. That's it. So this kind of build is okay. And looking at top side, Jericho already has Striver, so now it's going to be even more pain for the Malphite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the other thing is that I kind of like this play. Usually when I see supports trying to look for that Sunfire Aegis, usually I'm like, with what money? But there have been some changes recently. But
Ooh.
Ashen Chevalier catching out huge Lao here. Ultimate. Oh no, he's taken incredibly low. He might actually have to use his ultimate to get away now. But yeah, there's the Maiden as well. It's taken incredibly low. Huge Loud can't even walk into lane.
That was just from trying to face check the bush. It wasn't even anything more than that. It's going to be really hard for him. And it seems to be that Kali tried to do an engage. He used her ultimate, but yeah, the Malzahar would... It's not in any risk. If he can survive, then nothing would happen, and his art will make him be able to survive as well. This roam from Shakunato is really good. The bot lane is still pushing. They don't need to have more pressure in there with the Jhin. So trying to affect the map is also a good idea.
Yeah, and what I kind of like about how the jungle diff bot lane has been playing, with the amount of vision and wars that they've had, it's made Lilia really hard for her to gank in the bot side. And even though they've been pushing up and been in an ideal place for Lilia to come in, she really hasn't had an ideal opportunity to really come in and do some damage in this bot lane here. So it's forced Lilia to try to look to other lanes, but mid lane is so even, it's kind of hard to gank this Akali, and then top lane is just going completely in Ashen Chevalier's favor.
Yeah, the picking at tank, it's the safe play. Oh no, he's dead.
No, yeah, that's gonna be huge. Lao using his ultimate, but they're still looking for something here. But that's gonna be Udyr slowed down. That's gonna be Maokai dashing in, gonna use the ultimate as well. Oh no, Seraphine's gonna take the fourth shot. Mockingbird is coming in looking for something, but oh no,
there it is.
They're gonna be suppressed. Charm put to sleep. Then now they're taking a dirt nap. Soul Point, meanwhile, at top lane is going to turn Malphite into a tombstone, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 across the map. But with them taking tier 2 turret, they're now pushing on. Wow, they're pushing inhibitor turret? Oh my god.
Yeah, they could have tried.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be Shakunato taking it flat, forced to flash away here. Stotty also running for their life, taken incredibly low. They just need a little bit more damage. The DOT from Lilia is taking. That's the flash, that's the spin, that's the kill. Double kill in the bot lane. They're picking up an Ocean's Drake for themselves. They're able to defend top side, and they're going to get away with this pretty much okay.
Yeah, the bot lane that they tried so hard to play around. They were lead with wards. They had a lot of position, but really bad positioning from them. Really good run by the Malzahar to also support the bottom lane. They are able to get on top of the Akali instantly, and that's what we were talking about. The neutralizer. You just press R, and she's dead. She can't do anything.
Yeah.
They see her till dead, and then they take control of the Drake and are able to secure the Drake. And then Maokai and Jhin, for some reason, try to contest the Drake, even though they know that their top laner and jungle are on the top side of the map. Yeah. They will never get anything out of that. They just try to contest, and instead they give away two crucial kills, towards two champions that were really far behind already. So now the game evens up more.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Jungle Dip Gaming is still sporting a pretty decent gold lead for themselves, 2.5k. You know, they lost to Drake, and maybe Maokai and Jhin were trying to stop back so that they could get a little bit more time on those inhibitor turrets. But like, I can't see them pushing into that side of the map for a much longer time, and that turret heals.
Yeah, but I don't think they needed to try and stop backs, because the TP was already being expended. Even if they stop backs, they were really low health. The Yorick and the Yorick and the Udyr were already low health, so it wouldn't make sense. Lilia's really far
Ooh,
forward.
yeah, Natan might get caught out here. Shakanado almost in
She's dead.
slow range. Yeah, that's Ashen
She doesn't have
Chevalier
flash.
coming in as well. Oh, man, so low. A huge
Bye.
Lao. Oh, no, buddy. You might be the next victim here. Ashen Chevalier going to have the cool jump on. The lady is coming in for the side. That's a great Maokai ultimate coming in for the side. It goes over walls as well. Huge Lao is going to get snared up, but it looks like it's not going to do a whole lot. That's just going to be the red team backing away here after that one kill.
And this Shakunado leaving bot lane to try and roam to other parts of the map. He was already showing to be trying to do that with the mid lane gang, but this time around he goes topside and really good pick on top of the Lydia. She dies, she doesn't have flash, so it's really well done. The Jhin can stay bot lane and just farm. You don't need to force anything around him right now, it's not fully necessary. And something I want to touch on quickly is this time around Akali changed her build. She's going now for the Night Harvester, which will give her a burst on even more burst on one single target, and will give her some movement speed. So, good adaptation in bot lane. Jhin is dead.
Stotty trying to 1v1 Ginny the Pooh here. Oh, here comes Soul Point in from the side. Ginny the Pooh has gone golden, but that's a huge charm coming in from the side. The cleanse is good, but it's not enough to save his life. That's going to be the exhaust on the Soul Point here. He's now rooted. Here comes Natan in from the side. The Chilling Smite is going to keep him away from Moa for just a little bit longer. He's now taking a nap. Soul Point is now looking for something here, but it looks like he's just going to clear out the ward. Shakanado is here for a bit of support, but it looks like the red team and the blue side are going to back away after both AD carries die.
Yeah, and it seemed to be just a really bad trade by the 3D carries. The Jhin was going to be so he was almost going to die alone, but a really good collapse from the Udyr to come from the side. And the Sonja's the stopwatch from the Senna was kind of random. Like if she doesn't use it, I think she can kill the Jhin before the Udyr comes.
Ooh, this is Shakanado turret diving here? That's gonna, the Malphite ultimate was absolutely huge, and now the Malzahar ultimate in response is gonna keep Mockingbird from really doing anything. Ashen Chevalier doing a decent chunk of damage, but here comes Huge Lauan from the side, gonna be able to find the unstoppable force on the Soul Point, but here comes Stotty and Mockingbird. You can't get that kill just yet, and Stotty is going to pick up the second kill for themselves. Here comes Curtain Call. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fourth shot misses, goes a little wide. Now the red team is looking at this mid lane turret.
I think it was 1 out of 4 that hit that time around, but yeah. So going to what happened on mid lane. Interesting engage from the side of Jungle Diff. They try and force with the Maokai ultimate. They get on top of some of the champions, but the Senna was coming from a reset, and the Malzahar R, I think, was on top of the Akali. So he negates most of what Akali wants to do under the turret, so she takes additional damage, and then they cannot burst the champions that they want to burst. Luckily for them, Madison Esports top laner Huge Lao comes from the side alone and tries and kill people, but he's a Malphite. You can CC people up with your ultimate, and it's fun to try and do that, but you need help, and he didn't have any help, and he instantly died. So now they have control of the Drake.
Yeah. Blue side looks like they want to try to go for the 50-50 here. Lilia is in the wings and is pretty high level here. Real good circle from the Oracle, will be able to zone them away. Here comes the Malphite, but he doesn't have unstoppable force. This might just be the blue team walking away, but that's going to be the Chem Tank. That's going to be the Bear Stun. No, he's going to flash over to the Malzahar. That's a great swap. Going to force a flash away. Here comes Lilia, but you came in at exactly the wrong time. Mockingbird now looking for the kill here. Fury Flames is going to use that ultimate immediately, but not going to be able to find it. That's a 2 for 0. That's a Drake for the red team, and now they're up nearly 5,000 gold.
What was Linia doing there? Great flash by Soul Point. It was really well.
Okay, yeah. Here comes Mockingbird in from the side. That's a great amount of CC, though, on the return. Here comes Shakanado in from the side. The Maokai ultimate is good. They're going to be able to find a kill on the Malphite. And what started off as a bait to try to kill Akali turned disastrous for the blue team. And now they're up by 6,000 gold. 5,500.
It was the bait to the bait. They thought that they were baiting them, but in reality, they were baiting them too. The Akali going back first to the play of Soul Point, he pops the Chem Tank. That's why people have been so irritated by the item. You just pop it, run on top of people, and try and get a pick. But he makes them think that he was going to go on top of one of the other carries, but he goes on top of the Malzahar. He stuns him and gets his flash out, and Akali can follow the Malzahar with her ultimate, so it was really well done. The Malzahar dies, and then for some reason Lilia runs towards them and instantly dies. She was popped immediately. I don't think she was able to do anything in that
Yeah.
in that instant moment. And then after killing the Malzahar, they go for the Udyr, and the Akali feels like they are baiting them towards something. The really great ultimate by the Malphite to try and do something. Huge Lao going for a play, and they put the CC of the Serving on top of them, but sadly they don't have enough damage, and the shot from Akali was really well put in a place where they couldn't follow the damage, and the Akali wasn't able to be killed. And after that, they just collapsed on top of the Malphite and kill him.
Yeah. It was really, really well played by Jungle Diff for sure. I mean, and now they're starting, they can flex their muscles for about as much as they want. They can play it pretty easy here. They're up by 6,300 gold here. That's a huge lead. And Yorick, very, very good split pusher. Even when he's gone, he's got these ghouls helping to push the wave. And I also just realized what Yorick's ghouls and also the lady look like. And it's just cats with really long, muscly arms. Is that cursed to anyone else? Meanwhile, Mockingbird might be cursed with a little bit of a bit of the sleepies, but that's so much mobility. You're not going to be able to lock down that Akali, and she's going to get away. Wow.
Yeah, Malzahar wasn't in rush for an hour. If he was, she's dead, but can happen. And yeah, to speak of Yorick, not about her creepy-looking cats, his creepy-looking cats, but about what he has done. Even though he's really good for the split push, he has placed really good walls around objectives, like in the Drake, where he separated the team and it gave time for the team to be able to capture the Drake, which was really well done. And I think if Jungle Diff can keep taking advantage of that, they can secure objectives even more easily, or even collapse on top of Madison Esports.
Yeah. And just as you said, being able to take objectives, the whole team is here to grab this red buff here for Stati. Meanwhile, like, even though the other red buff looks like, I think Udyr had already picked him up for himself, his own. So that's actually a pretty big pickup at this stage. Looks like they're dashing around. Yeah, they're posturing around this mid lane here. Soul Point might have found out Natan here. That's going to be the Chilling Smite. He's going to dash away from the Seraphine, but they might have found Fury Flames here. He might have to use that ultimate, but that's going to be the Seraphine ultimate, but it's not going to save them this time. Mockingbird taking incredibly low here. The exhaust, the slow, the dot. That's going to be the Senna ultimate. That's going to be the kill. Soul Point is now taken incredibly low. So the Turton call comes across, but it's not going to hit anyone anymore. And that's going to be just the blue team just picking up what they can and backing away. A 1-for-1 over towards the mid lane there.
Yeah, they pick on top of the Malzahar. I think Malzahar wasn't able to put his ultimate on anyone, or if it did, the cooldown on the ultimate is really low right now. But the Akali is able to dance around, but this time around, they are able to put the C and then finish the kill. It seemed like Akali was going to be able to run away, but luckily it didn't happen. So hopefully they get that kill. They get a shot. I think they get a shot done because of the CS and the kills. Yeah. So that gold going to the Senna is really good. And maybe they could have gotten more, but they don't need to try and force anything. They have a really good late game composition still. So they need time to try and scale and get something more.
Yeah, and you know, I definitely think that this game going a bit later and them just picking up the Earth Drake is just really, really big for sure. I mean, like, it's definitely a really good win condition to pick up the Dragon Soul here. Ooh, Lilia putting two people to sleep, but it doesn't look like there's any sort of follow-up here. That's going to be the root from Seraphine. Oh, that's going to be Mockingbird dashing in here, looking for something. Can't quite find anything. Both teams are just going to back away here. Yorick is coming in from the side. Malphite is there as well. Dragon's about half HP. If the blue team wants to steal, this is the time to go in. Here comes the Maokai ultimate, gonna keep them trying to steal him away from the Malphite as, oh no, he's taken incredibly low. I don't think the rest of the team can save him. That's gonna be Stati on a rampage. Red team's gonna pick up the Dragon. That's gonna be the Chem Tank. He's running towards Natan. He's gonna find Ginny the Pooh instead. He's gonna go invisible and get him away, but they're gonna walk right into the mist and find the Mockingbird is gonna cleanse off the Malzahar ultimate and run away for their lives. A double kill for the Jin as well. 3-for-0 for the red team. A Dragon as well. Man, this is very well played by them so far.
Yeah, Jungle Diff getting advantages slowly but surely. They got the Drake. Really good position by them. They knew that the Udyr and the Jhin were the only ones that needed to be around the area. The Akali and the Yorick and the Maokai take control of the upwards area in the river, and they stop anyone from coming in. The Malphite goes in alone for some reason, and he instantly dies. He's not as tanky as you would think right now. He just
Yeah.
has a Sunfire Aegis, and he dies really quickly. And after that, they turn towards them with their camp tank, and they just run them over. One thing I need to point out that I just realized before is that Akali already has the Quicksilver Sash, and she had it before in the earlier engage, so she can now fight any fight without having to worry about the CC so much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Quicksilver Sash is the quickest way to be able to free yourself. I mean, it's possibly the most important item in Akali's build right now. Like, sure
Yeah.
that Zonia's Hourglass is gonna come down and she's gonna be a lot tankier. She's gonna be able to go golden, but like being able to just cleanse off the Malzahar ultimate and be able to leave
Rapid
an
ultimate.
otherwise
Oh,
bad
no.
situation is huge. Mockingbird doing a huge amount of damage to Moa and be able to
She's
slam
going
around
in.
this. Oh no, okay, she's gonna dodge around the charm. She's
Oh.
going to fall, and at the end, now here comes the turnaround from the blue team. It's 3v4. Yorick is nowhere to be found, and now here comes Huge Lao. He doesn't have that ultimate. Shakanado is gonna be the sacrificial lamb for his team to get away. Soul Point now going to be backing away as well, as Yorick is going to try to push and gain an advantage off these kills. He's probably not going to take the turret, but Huge Lao is here to contest. But
They don't get that
man,
team.
not a great play, not a great team fight for the red team here.
Yeah, Jungle Diff and especially Mockingbird and Akali biting more than he can chew with that.
Oh
blade.
my
He goes
God.
oh,
Yorick teleports top lane and picks up the inhibitor turret. Now is fighting Fury Flames as multiple members of the blue team now have to ditch the outer mid turret to protect the inhibitor on the top side. This Yorick is insane.
200 IQ plays right there. He goes for the turret bot. He gets the turret bot, baits the TP from Malphite, then goes TP turret top and gets the TP from Mazahar. Really great done, really well done from him.
Man.
And those TPs are more valuable for Madison than for Jungle Div because Yorick really doesn't need to get into team fights a lot. He doesn't need to group with the rest of the team, but Mazahar and Malphite need to. If they ever get in a situation where there's 4v4 and it's the Yorick and the Malphite separated, I think Jungle Div has the advantage there.
Yeah, I mean it's just like we said, like Yorick. I think I said that in draft that like Yorick has like this decent CC, you know, for these team fights. You know, that circle is very, very powerful. It traps people inside and kind of forces them to flash in a lot of situations. But I don't know how much of a better team fighter Yorick is than Malphite. You know,
Yeah,
this
I don't
might
think
be,
either.
yeah, this is a dragon fight right here. I'll have to hold on to that point for a little bit as 4 members of the blue team is here. Malzahar is now walking up as well. It is currently a 4v4. Oh, this is a Maokai ultimate,
A
though.
5v4.
Yeah. Now it's a 5v4, though. Shakanato's diving onto the backside
why?
here. That's a huge charm on 2 people here, but Mockingbird is going to be able to find Lilia. Malphite on the backside is fighting Stati and is taking
Why?
him incredibly low. Malphite might be able to 1v1 him, but he can't quite take it out. Meanwhile, Senna is doing so much. Ashen Chevalier on the bot side is able to take another turret, and even though they came out relatively on top here, a 2 for 3, Ashen Chevalier punishing the blue team by taking an inhibitor.
Yeah, he will get the inhibitor, and that's his job right now. But I really don't understand the play from Jungle Div. You don't need to force anything. I think the Yorick gets that turret either way, gets that inhibitor either way. Okay, Senna.
Oh no, Stati, buddy, you can't duel the Senna. We've been over this. We thought there was a
Yeah.
meeting, there was a memo, but Ashen Chevalier might be able to duel. Looks like that's going to force a flash. That's going to back away. It
Yeah,
looks
speaking about Senna,
yeah.
she has 77 souls. You shouldn't bite her ever alone.
Yeah. Jin might be ahead with 196 CS and 8 kills and 4 assists, but you know those souls are very, very powerful for Senna. And even if she gets behind, she's still able to scale very well. As on the blue team, 4 versus 2 with this dragon here. Yorick really wants it, but he doesn't have a smite.
I don't think
Maybe
they can
the rest of
fight
the team might. Okay, wait, here comes the Maokai ultimate, though. That's going to be Mockingbird
Just as I
dashing
say
in
that.
onto the Malphite here. He's taken incredibly low. Ashen Chevalier, that's going to be the return unstoppable force. They're going to be able to find the kill on a huge Lao, but that's not really the most important target here. That's going to be Udyr being put to sleep and then taking a dirt nap That's going to be him going down as well, and that's going to be the next kill on Shaka Nato. Ashen Chevalier is the next target, but he might be able to get away with his life by just the skin of his teeth. No, no! That's going to be the dot tick. That's going to be another kill, and Stotty, no, buddy, no! That's going to be the shutdown going on a Ginny the Pooh. That's going to be the ace. The blue team picks up the cleanest team fight they've had this whole game.
Yeah, luckily for Jungle Diff, they don't go for Baron, because I think just sending back the Malzahar is enough to just go for the Baron. But once again, like I was repeating this in the Baron fight, why? And once again, I'm asking myself why. You are you have one less member. They were 4v5 in that fight. You don't need to fight that. It's you already have 3 Drakes. You're in a really advantageous position still. You don't need to force fights that are not a necessity. And you have a split pusher in the form of Yorick. If you send him to the other side of the map, you can get that top lane very easily. But now they're going for Baron, and maybe Udyr tries and go for something. They get
Mockingbird is looking for something as well. He's already hopped over the wall. Mockingbird is on the back line as well. Natana's taking it incredibly low, but Mockingbird is suppressed. He's going to use the cleanse and looking for Natana. Not going to be able to find his soul point. Is trying to run away. His huge Lao is now taking up the Baron. Mockingbird still hasn't gone down. No one has died just yet. Ashen Chevalier is here. It looks like that's going to be Lily Natan rooted up in the backside, as no one has gotten this Baron and no one's gotten a kill. Both teams are now backing away.
Yeah, those golds deal a lot of damage, and luckily for Jungle Diff, no one died. I think Kali died there, but she didn't. Oh wait, okay. Oof, I thought maybe the wrench, but no. So yeah, what I was thinking, this Baron was really late by Madison. I think they should have tried and take that Baron earlier. They had the opportunity, they had the people to do it, and now it's Jungle Diff that are forcing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good time. The whole blue team had to reset there. They did have some minions on their Nexus turrets as well, but now, yeah, this is real clean for them. They had a bunch of full health. They had a bunch of full health members after that team fight as well. So, yeah, really good immediate call there from the red side from Jungle Diff Gaming. Is now they're now poised to take a lot more in this game.
Yeah, and I think even with the better composition, Madison has the better composition. We have seen that they have win fights that at this point, because of how their champions work, they have won fights that should be, you would think that they can win, but their composition is just better. But I think execution wise, if Jungle Diff are the 5 people alive, they can fight by 5v5, or they know what they want to do, not just run on top of them, then they are out executing Madison in that sense.
Yeah, so now, I think the biggest thing here is now the blue side has to deal with Yorick with a Baron buff. Like, this is, yeah, they're already sending Malzahar and Malphite to fight this Yorick here with this Baron buff. And man, if I'm Yorick, I'm happy about this, 100%. I might not get the split push and take things, but if they have to devote 2 members to me in this 1-3-1, then we're going to win this 100%.
The good thing for Jungle Diff also is that Akali also serves as a split pusher, so you have to take that into account as well when you send 2 people for the Yorick.
Huge Lao, are you?
Ouch.
Do you really want this one, bud? That's gonna be a lot of. Oh no, he can't leave. He's taken so much damage already. Here comes the rest of the team to collapse, but that is going to proc the rest of the red side to continue to push. That's a decent chunk of damage onto Ashen Chevalier here, and he's going to back away from this inhibitor. But now Natan is there by himself. Red team has now picked up an inhibitor on the bot side, and now Ashen Chevalier is forcing them to move on the top. Ooh,
he got him.
Okay, yeah, that's a Seraphine ultimate. He might be going down here easy peasy. They're gonna pick up a kill, but they've lost 2 inhibitors.
But they also used 2 of their Madison Esports used 2 of their most important ultimates. They used the Seraphine ultimate and the Malphite ultimate, so now they cannot just engage on top of them. And there's 45 seconds before the Drake spawns. Yeah, Yorick probably won't be available, and I don't think he would have TP for that play in particular. But I really don't get why Madison tries to go for uses so much CC to try and get the Yorick, when the Yorick was already almost dead either way.
Yeah. And it is going to be very important for this dragon fight, because you know they're not going to have these pretty big CCs up, so they're going to have to really if this dragon spawns, they're gonna have to kill it really quick.
Yeah. One of the things,
Yeah.
though, for Madison is that if they are able to get this Drake, this will extend the game, and if they are able to get Soul, then I think it's almost impossible for Jungle Diff to be able to kill their frontline and some of their champions.
Yeah.
Malphite zones out.
Yeah, Shakunato trying to zone out as much as they can. Here comes the curtain call. Soul Point's coming in, trying to look for the steal, but they're going to be able to pick it up. The fourth shot from curtain call comes across, and it looks like the team fight is starting. Ascena has been rooted up by the Maokai ultimate. That's going to be the shutdown from the Jhin, and the Jhin is looking for more as Udyr is running right into the enemy team. That's going to be trying to teleport away, but that's going to be Maokai stopping. That Mockingbird is on the backside, dealing so much damage. Unstoppable Force is going to try to get away. They're trying to stop the Yorick, but the Yorick is on the Nexus in below 50% HP. The Yorick, just when you thought they were looking for the dragon, they're just gonna end the game. Yorick, the Gravedigger, digging Madison Esports Shredded's grave as Jungle Diff Gaming picks up game 2 and the match.
Yeah, really well. Like we said before, execution-wise, Jungle Diff was really better than Madison Esports. And at that point, when we thought that maybe it was going to be a dragon fight and all that, and I wasn't sure if the teleport was going to come through, he goes completely 180 and goes for the teleport topside. He goes for that play. He he just split pushes their way to the win, and that's what I think the pick was all about at the end of the day. Just try and split push and win the game with that. And really well done by them. Even though they almost threw their lead away with a really couple of fights that weren't necessary, they almost gave Madison Esports a chance to come back into the game and maybe into the series. But like I thought before, and I'm still sticking to that, they out executed Madison Esports in a lot of the fights in the whole game almost, and they played towards what they were, I think, comfortable with, and they certainly showed that in the series.
Yeah. I really wanted to quickly shout out Shakunato though, because he feels definitely very comfortable on this Maokai, and there were a lot of very, very well placed ultimates. I just want this guy to cool it for about 2 minutes. Like he was at there were a lot of times where he just forced fights or went in and just flashed engaged in bot lane or went into fights that he didn't need to in the mid game. There were a lot of times where the team as a whole forced to fight when they didn't need to, and a lot of that was like Shakunato just saying, "Okay, Malphite ultimate, let's go." And there's a lot of times where you just don't have to.
Yeah, he feels like a trigger happy player in that sense, and he tried and do that with the Morgana as well. So I think it of a player trade with that I think he has with many champions. And it's kind of funny because Shakunatos, it's a player that likes enchanters more, but he plays like he was playing engagers most of the time. So maybe that's something that teams can exploit in the future, but overall I think those kind of plays also are what makes the team go get ahead in most instances. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in that sense, but it's nice to see from a player.
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. I mean, I would also like to shout out Moa, I believe. Yeah, Moa has played really well, I think, on the Seraphine. Like a lot of their ultimates have been could have been game changing had their team had more gold. I think that's what I'm going to say. Like if their team was just a little bit more ahead and had the damage to back up a lot of these charms, because a lot of these charms are hitting 2-3 members of the enemy team, and when their whole team is based around just kind of keeping these long fights or just trying to get like picks as quick as possible in order to, let Yorick split push. Getting these 2-3 person charms are absolutely huge, but when your team doesn't have the damage to back it up, there's a lot of times where a lot of it's just gonna fall short.
Yeah, and also those stones from the Seraphim were really great to have, but I think one of the main problems for Madison Esports this time around was that it felt like it was the first engage setup. Like the Seraphim sends out the ultimate first, and then the rest follow up. But I think, and I've heard this once from another caster that is a Seraphim main and played with her, that she's better when she has the support from us from another engagement tool. So the other engagement tool is used first, and she is the supportive engagement tool, the secondary wave that it can add to that CC chain. And I think that's true. She's better in that sense, and it also allows her to go even to be able to provide even more with the rest of her abilities, with the rest of the cooldowns. So if I think Malphite was the most disappointing in this series in that regard, because I think if the Malphite is able to provide more of the CC with the ultimate, or in that regard, then maybe Seraphine would have been even more of a threat this game. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Malphite and Huge Loud is solid. Like
Yep.
I think in top lane, is where Jungle Diff took a lot of their advantages, and it
Yeah.
clearly showed out in the way that the games went.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to call it for the night. Thank you all so much for watching. GG's to Jungle Diff Gaming. Congrats on your win. If we are going to sign off for this evening, but if you haven't already, press that follow button. We have lots of League of Legends every week, lots of exciting matches to watch, even if you're not playing. It's a great time. Even if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Thank you all so much for watching. And for myself, TDS, and our entire live broadcast crew, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next match.